I need you to choose your own interpretation of reality. This is a very positive thing, very powerful thing that you can do for yourself if you can do successfully and often. I want you to notice when people say certain things to you, you can choose how you interpret it. In a large way you can choose to interpret people's words is you can choose where people are coming from. A lot of times people will not preface what they say in person or online from where they're coming from. So you can actually choose to have a positive perception on this matter, where if someone tells you directly something that can be interpreted or is usually interpreted as negative, you can just choose that they're coming from a positive place, or you can just choose that they're coming from an ignorant place where they mean well, but they're not coming from a place that is informed about how you are feeling or informed about how you are receiving that message. So then that allows you to take a step back from the situation and not get so infatuated with it, not get so close, so personal with something that doesn't even need to be taken personally. A lot of times what happens is that someone says something and we end up taking it way too personally, and then we allow that way too personal interpretation to screw up our mood, screw up our day, when really we could have just taken a step back from that whole situation. And the most important thing when it comes to choosing your perception is choosing how you perceive life's events, the events that happen in your life. I want you to notice all the things that you perceive as positive or negative. And I want to challenge you to reframe them all in a positive light. Absolutely everything has a positive side, just as much as a negative side. If you live long enough past this event, you'll always be able to find certain positives in it. Because reality is happening on its own. There's no good or bad things happening in reality. Whether it's a good or bad thing is how you choose to overlay your perception on something. There is nothing objectively good or objectively bad. And for a lot of people that are not construct aware, this is blasphemy. But nonetheless, it is the truth. And that's why I encourage you to really embody that truth, that reality actually is a null point. Reality is actually absolutely meaningless. And it's what you project onto it that makes it meaningful. So why not project your perceptions onto reality? Why not project perceptions that, like consciously, why not project perceptions that are positive, that are going to make you feel good, that are going to benefit you? Why project perceptions onto things that happen to you, happen for you? Why project that, oh, the world is against me, or I'm not meant to do this, or I'm not good enough, or this is why I'm not going to make it, or this is my setback. It goes along with that saying of switching your mind sentences of well, what if, to even if. Instead of saying, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? Just have that positive perception on everything where it's like, even if this supposedly bad thing happens, I'm going to get done, or I'm going to accomplish this, or I'm going to get focused, or I'm going to work through at that moment, because that hurdle is part of what I need. I am meant to jump over that hurdle because there's a lot more coming like that. And so if I can learn how to masterfully jump over that hurdle now, that's going to allow me to progress a lot more effectively, a lot faster in the future. Rather than seeing like everything as obstacles, see things as challenges to overcome. See things as puzzles to overcome. Puzzles to solve. This can massively change a lot of results that you have in your life, just based on choosing how you perceive things. One of my most favorite examples of this perception shift, an intentional perception shift, is the dying words of Sean Stevenson after he cracked his skull open. In his last words, he said, "Even this is a gift." Sean Stevenson was born with a condition that made all of his bones extremely brittle, such that by age 10 or so, he's already broken 200 bones. Where if you break a bone, you just gotta sit there for 2 weeks to wait for it to heal. And also, his body was incredibly misshapen and contorted and twisted up. To survive with such circumstances seemingly pitted against you, you are forced to learn to project your perceptions onto reality and not let reality make the decision on what your perceptions are going to be. The path of least resistance is to take something that we don't like and to just go with that. It's like, yep, I don't like this. This is a negative thing. Whereas a positive person is like, I don't like this, good. How is it going to grow me? It's along those lines of David Goggins saying, do something that sucks every single day. I remember Wes Watson saying similar stuff. It's like, does this suck? Good. Is it difficult? Good. Make it harder. Make it even more difficult for yourself. Because that is where the growth is. That's a completely different attitude. It's having a perception of growth where you're choosing to see all these seemingly setbacks, these challenges, all these emotionally difficult moments. You're choosing to have these moments as things that grow you. Now, of course, there's a difference in between shaping your perception to grow yourself. There's a nuance, which is shaping your perception to grow yourself and then just gaslighting yourself when you should actually just be setting a boundary. That exists. So I want to mention that there. But for the most part, choosing to see things in a positive light, especially when you're in the thick of it, especially when you're just really feeling like shit, when life is all falling apart, when you are being tested, when you're in your losing season, that is when you're going to grow the most, because those are the best opportunities to make a choice of how you're going to show up. And it's saying, even if this circumstance exists, I'll be okay, or I'm going to make it, or even if I'm going to try. Even if this happens, I'm still going to keep going. Rather than looking for that next thing to take you out such that you can tap. Are you looking for places to tap in life? Or are you looking for places to grow, to keep going, to stay in the fight? So for homework, next time you notice yourself in an emotionally difficult situation, just once, just flip it. Be like, it's great. Like, this is a great opportunity, and here's why. This is a great moment because here's why I appreciate this. Rather than finding ways to demonize it, find ways to appreciate it. You may surprise yourself. And when you can successfully reframe something like that, notice how you feel. And more importantly, notice how bendable and moldable reality is, just based on making a choice of having a conscious perception on reality, choosing to construct your reality. Because you are more involved with the construction process than you could ever imagine. So with that, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.